everyone. You're watching the news at 5 on the ABC 10 Information Network. I'm Liz Kreutz. And all right, everybody is freaking out over what happened in the Oval Office today.
That's right, Chris. In fact, we are in paradise right now. We're nearly a week later. People have still not been able to return to their homes. But when they do, they're going to be returning to things like this. You can see right here, this charred out car completely destroyed. Homes reduced to rubble. To say this is a tight race might be an understatement. Yesterday, there was data out showing literally just one vote difference between Democrat and Republican turnout in this race. Those numbers have since shifted, but it just gives you a sense of how close it's going to be.
Liz, a packed Sacramento City Hall today.
That is right. We're outside City Hall right now where hundreds of people are expected to gather for this city council meeting. The city is calling it a special edition of a city council meeting, an open dialogue for friends and family of Stephon Clark, as well as community members to come and speak directly to Police Chief Hahn, the city council, and the mayor.
A scary situation unfolding right now. We're literally on Highway 99. It has been blocked just in the past few minutes because the campfire right here behind us jumped the highway. You can see those flames right there.
This is a story now getting national attention. Last week we told you about Amy Estes, a middle school teacher at Springview Middle School in Rockland, who says she had to go on mental health leave after students bullied her when they learned she was gay. All right, you're listening to the Butte County Sheriff giving an update on the campfire. If you want to continue watching that news conference, we have it on our website, abc10.com. But just to wrap some of the key points we learned, there are a lot of information.
Hey, Chris, yeah, that's right. We're at the neighborhood church in Chico right now. It has reached capacity. There's roughly 300 people here right now. They're actually turning people away. But the people who are here, they've been here for hours. So many of them just watching the TVs on the screens here, trying to get any kind of information they can about their friends, their family, and of course, their homes and their property.
Governor Brown, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. Your final 48 hours as governor. The San Jose County Sheriff has come out, pretty critical of the sanctuary state policies that you signed into law in 2017. What do you make of that criticism? And do you think that perhaps a side effect of those laws is that more bad actors might fall through the cracks?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, last night we came here to Blue Lamp in East Sacramento where friends, family, community members came together for what they say is a celebration of Stephon Clark's life. Now, I want to take you inside just for a little bit, just to give you a peek at what this night is looking like. So come on in here. We're going to bring Randy, our photojournalist, in. We're running with these protesters right now. We're on L and 30th Street. They are trying to, it seems like, maybe shut down another interstate. As being 11-year-old and seeing this happen, what goes through your head when you see that?
Like, I just have to be prepared.
Many of them have been here for hours, and I've talked to some of the folks about President Trump's visit, and one gentleman told me his message to President Trump is, please help us bypass the bureaucracy, help us get back into our homes. Lena Howland is over just a few miles away here in Modesto at Josh Harder's watch party. Lena, what's it like over there?
Lawmakers toured what they call, quote, deplorable conditions of the facility where a 7-year-old girl died while in Border Patrol custody.
According to the most recent poll, you're neck and neck with your opponent, Josh Harder. There's this talk about this blue wave among Democrats. How threatened are you by that?
So many of these kids were earlier showing us the floss tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We asked people what they want to see come here. People said Rainforest Cafe, a farmer's market. Everyone had all these different ideas. What do you want to see here?
Well, first of all,
82% of you right now, I know it keeps moving, are saying that yes, you have gone to a coffee shop and not paid for anything. 25% of you said no.
The bigger picture question that's now coming out of all of this is, where are these people going to go permanently? And I can tell you from the reporting that we've done here tonight, the reality is nobody really knows.
It is a very tight-knit community, one of those communities where everybody knows each other.
We have just heard these insane stories of survival, and the one that we want to tell you about tonight is a woman who had literally just given birth at the nearby hospital when she had to evacuate. Nurses, EMTs, and paramedics came together to help that woman and so many other patients get out, but it was a very close call. Take a listen.
I just came to the realization that this is how I was going to die.
As the campfire bore down on Paradise's Feather River Hospital, Tamara Ferguson was one of the nurses who had to jump into action and help patients get out.
People were racing around the OB unit, going room to room, just saying, let's go, let's go. Wheelchairs were coming, gurneys were coming.
One of those patients, Heather Roebuck, a mother who had just given birth to her baby Hallie by C-section.
Sheer terror, like me. I'm in the middle of surgery. Do we go to us? So they just stitched me up really quickly.
Heather was separated from her husband and newborn daughter so she could be taken by ambulance.
We hopped in an ambulance with strangers, people we didn't know. A very critical patient. Another patient was in the front seat.
But after driving about a mile, Heather's ambulance caught on fire.
And I realized that I'm not going to make it. And I just told him on the phone that I was really sorry and that I just loved him and I wasn't going to be there with our kids.
At that moment, a pediatrician came to the rescue.
And they dragged me out into the street and it's pitch black.
With flames now encroaching all around, that pediatrician, Tamara, and the other first responders decided everyone needed to get out of the vehicles and seek shelter in a nearby home. They moved all the patients into the garage.
We were all doing our part to try to defend the house.
These photos taken by Tamara show how everyone was doing whatever they could to keep the fire away.
I see the paramedic on the roof spraying off the roof. I see someone over here with a hose filling buckets. Chrissy sweeping, someone has a shovel, and I just picked up piles and piles of brush and I kept clearing them to the road.
And you can see how close the fire got to that home. This is the home next door, completely reduced to ashes. And over here, the fence that surrounds the perimeter of that house also partially destroyed.
But their efforts, life-saving. Eventually, the fire passed over. They were able to get back to the hospital and from there to safety.
She's the last baby born at Feather River Hospital. Hopefully not forever. There were a lot of times where I thought that that minute that I saw her was going to be the only time I ever saw her, that she would never know me. It was really, really tough.
Just a miraculous story of survival. And she did say she'll never be able to thank those people who helped her, the nurses and paramedics, enough. But we actually are at the home right now where this happened. You can see that fence right here that surrounds the home. That fire literally went up to that fence, destroyed part of it. So the fact that it didn't go farther into the home is just a testament to the work that they did. But again, I want to show you this burned down home, their neighbor's home. You can see what looks like it once was a barbecue, completely destroyed. Over here, a gun safe, very, very little remains. And we actually did speak to the homeowner of this home, the home that survived. She was actually already evacuated by the time that those patients got there. She said she has some survivor's guilt right now, that her home survived, but her neighbors didn't. But she said that what she told her neighbor is that God was not protecting her home, God was protecting those people in it. Just an incredible story of survival. And Chris, we continue to hear so many of them.
Tariffs, trade war, we keep hearing about all these T words, right? So that's why earlier today we came here to UC Davis to talk to this guy, Professor Daniel Sumner, an expert in agricultural economics who helped us break it all down. So here's what we know. In response to the Trump administration putting tariffs on China.
China, 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 China.
Yeah, that China. China just announced retaliatory tariffs on billions of dollars.
Billions and billions and billions
of U.S. goods, many of them from California.
We can start with almonds and walnuts and pistachios, that is the tree nuts. We get to beef and dairy products. Wine is also on the list. Oranges are on the list.
Now, the impact of these tariffs is still TBD, but they do have the potential to hurt our local farmers. And here's why. Let's take almonds. China is the third largest importer of California almonds. But if China now has to pay more to get our almonds, they'll likely buy less. That, in turn, means almonds will get sold at lower prices, and that means this.
Lower prices means less revenue, and then less money in their pockets mean they're spending less, and all the way down ripples through the economy.
I also want to talk about wine. Professor Sumner told us something interesting. He said that just 10 years ago, California wines weren't even on the radar of Chinese wine buyers, but that the California industry started promoting California wines there, and that that's starting to change. But now these tariffs could be a setback.
You just spent 5 years convincing Shanghai they ought to pay more attention to California wine, and they say, come back to us later.
So let's get to the question that most of us non-farmers are probably asking. Will this mean the price of almonds or wine goes up for you or me? It turns out, actually, no. If anything, the prices could go down because there's less of demand for the product. But you certainly may feel the ripple effect. And don't forget that we will see prices go up on several items like steel that we import.
Because the economy as a whole can't win from this. The U.S. economy can't win from a trade war.